At the edge of the frozen world, where the sky meets an endless ocean of white, dawn slowly rises over the ancient tundra. The sun struggles to pierce through thick, icy clouds, casting pale light across a land locked in silence. The wind howls relentlessly, sweeping across the frozen plains, carving patterns into the snow like the fingerprints of time itself. In this vast, unforgiving wilderness, something stirs. From the cold mist, a massive shadow begins to move. Slowly, deliberately, a colossal figure emerges. Each step presses deep into the snow, leaving behind footprints that speak of immense weight and ancient power. Long, curved tusks catch the faint morning light, gleaming like relics from another age. This is no monster, no beast of legend born from fear. This is a survivor, a symbol of endurance. A giant shaped by ice, time, and evolution. This is Mammuthus primigenius, the woolly mammoth. To understand the mammoth, we must travel back hundreds of thousands of years, to a time when Earth itself was a very different world. Vast ice sheets stretched across the northern continents. Glaciers advanced and retreated like slow-moving oceans, reshaping the land with unimaginable force. Much of the northern hemisphere was locked in the grip of the Ice Age, a world where survival demanded constant adaptation. The environment was harsh, yet alive. Frozen tundra and cold steppe landscapes spread across Eurasia and North America. These open plains supported a unique ecosystem filled with remarkable creatures. Saber-toothed cats stalked their prey with curved fangs built for precision killing. Woolly rhinoceroses charged across icy ground, armored in thick skin and fur. Giant deer carried antlers so massive they seemed almost impossible. Symbols of strength in a frozen land, and among them all walked the mammoth, not loud, not aggressive, but dominant in quiet confidence. It did not rule through speed or sharp teeth, but through sheer size, intelligence, and cooperation. The mammoth was the silent monarch of the Ice Age. Its body was a masterpiece of evolutionary design. Towering over most other animals, the woolly mammoth stood as tall as modern elephants, yet far more adapted to extreme cold. A thick coat of hair covered its massive frame, composed of two distinct layers. Long, coarse outer hairs shielded the body from snow and wind, while a dense undercoat trapped warmth close to the skin. Beneath this fur lay a thick layer of fat acting as natural insulation, protecting vital organs from deadly temperatures. Its ears were small, reducing heat loss. Its tail was short, minimizing exposure to frostbite. Even its blood contained special adaptations that allowed it to flow in freezing conditions. Every detail of the mammoth's body told a story of survival in a world where cold was the ultimate enemy. The tusks of the mammoth curved forward and inward, sometimes growing longer than 4 meters. These were not merely weapons. They were tools. Mammoths used them to sweep snow aside, uncovering grasses and plants hidden beneath the ice. They used them in displays of dominance, in defense against predators, and in shaping their environment. Over time, the tusks became symbols of power, shaped by years of use and survival. Despite their immense size, mammoths lived gentle, structured lives. They moved across the frozen plains in tightly bonded herds, led by experienced females. These matriarchs carried generations of knowledge: where to find food, how to avoid danger, when to migrate as seasons shifted. Calves stayed close to their mothers, protected by the massive bodies of the herd. Learning through observation and instinct, daily life was a slow rhythm of movement and feeding. Mammoths spent much of their time grazing, pulling grasses, sedges, and shrubs from the frozen ground. With powerful trunks and steady determination, they consumed vast amounts of vegetation to sustain their enormous bodies. Each day was a balance between conserving energy and finding enough food to survive. The Ice Age was not kind. Winters were long and brutal. Blizzards could last for days, burying the land beneath thick layers of snow. Food was often scarce. The cold was relentless, seeping into every corner of existence. Yet mammoths endured, relying on the strength of the herd. When storms came, they huddled together, young protected in the center. adults forming a living wall against the wind. Survival was not only about strength, but about memory. Knowledge passed from one generation to the next allowed mammoths to navigate this dangerous world. Paths across the tundra, seasonal feeding grounds, safe passages through frozen rivers, all were remembered and shared within the herd. But even giants have enemies. Predators lurked in the shadows of the Ice Age. Packs of wolves tested the weak and the young. Saber-toothed cats waited for moments of vulnerability. Yet the mammoth's greatest threat did not walk on four legs. It walked upright. Early humans entered the mammoth's world carrying stone-tipped spears, fire, and an unmatched ability to cooperate. To them, the mammoth was more than an animal. It was survival itself. A single mammoth could provide meat for months. Its fat fueled fires. Its bones became shelters. Its tusks were shaped into tools, weapons. In art, hunting a mammoth was dangerous and required strategy, teamwork, and patience. Humans learned to track herds, exploit terrain, and use traps. The relationship between humans and mammoths was complex, one of dependence, respect, and destruction. Mammoths were not hunted lightly. They were honored in cave paintings carved into stone, remembered in stories passed through generations for thousands of years. Mammoths and humans coexisted in a fragile balance, but the world was changing as the Ice Age slowly came to an end. Temperatures began to rise. Glaciers retreated. Snowfields melted. The open grasslands that mammoths depended on began to disappear, replaced by forests and wetlands. The environment that had shaped the mammoth for millennia was vanishing, with shrinking. Habitats came shrinking populations. Herds became isolated. Food sources grew scarce. Reproduction slowed. The mammoth's ancient adaptations, once its greatest strength, now struggled to keep pace with a rapidly warming world. One by one, mammoth populations faded away. The final chapter of their story unfolded on a remote island in the Arctic, Ocean Wrangel Island. Cut off from the mainland, a small population of mammoths survived longer than the rest, clinging to existence thousands of years after their kind had vanished elsewhere. But isolation came at a cost. Limited resources, genetic decline, and environmental stress eventually led to their silent disappearance. There was no final roar, no dramatic collapse, just absence. For centuries, the mammoth existed only in legend and bone until the ice gave back its secrets. In the frozen soils of Siberia, explorers uncovered mammoths preserved almost perfectly by permafrost. Hair, skin, organs, even stomach contents remained intact. These discoveries stunned the world. For the first time, scientists could study the mammoth not as a fossil, but as a once-living being. DNA was extracted, sequenced, analyzed. The mammoth's genetic code told stories of adaptation, migration, and decline. It also sparked an idea that once belonged only to science fiction. What if extinction was not the end? Modern biotechnology opened the door to an extraordinary possibility, bringing the mammoth back. By combining mammoth DNA with that of its closest living relative, the Asian elephant, scientists propose creating a hybrid capable of surviving in cold environments. Supporters argue it could restore lost ecosystems. Critics warn of ethical and ecological consequences. The debate continues, raising profound questions about humanity's role in nature. Just because we can bring something back, does that mean we should? Today, the mammoth lives on in human imagination. In films, books, games, and art, it stands as the icon of the Ice Age, a reminder of a world both brutal and beautiful. It represents loss, resilience, and the power of nature beyond human control. But the mammoth is more than a relic of the past. It is a message. Its extinction warns us of what happens when climate changes faster than life can adapt. It reminds us that even the mightiest creatures are vulnerable when their world disappears. And it forces us to confront our relationship with the natural world, not as conquerors, but as participants. As the final images fade, we imagine a distant tundra once more. Snow falls softly, A herd of mammoths moves slowly across the horizon, their shapes blurred by drifting ice. Their footprints sink deep into the frozen ground, marks that time itself could not erase. Though Mammuthus primigenius no longer walks the earth, its story endures, carried in ice memory, and the lessons it left behind, and the question remains. Echoing across the frozen plains of history, when the giants disappear, will we learn in time?